During the summer of 1590, 115-ish English men, women, and children vanished from an island off the coast of America. No bodies, no graves, no signs of battle. The only clue ever found, 2 words carved into trees or posts. One of them deliberately scratched out. This is the oldest unsolved mystery in American history, the lost colony of Roanoke. What's up, guys? Today we're going back to 1587, one of the more okay-ish fashion periods in the English world, in my opinion. Oh, who am I kidding? What is this? The real-life story that inspired entire seasons of horror shows, but the truth is way stranger than any Disney princess remake. And, as I currently have a record of not solving the mysteries I look at, I figured this would be a fun thing to draw.
And now, we're gonna do the most American thing ever, which is to roast my ancestors for like 10 minutes, so let's go!
Okay, so it's the 1580s, England and Spain are throwing knives. A man who goes by Sir Walter Raleigh receives a patent from Queen Elizabeth I that basically said, go get land in America before Philip gets it. So in 1585, the first attempt was made with 107 soldiers and artists, and they land on Roanoke Island, which was a hilariously bad decision. They faced a swampy, shallow harbor, hostile Secotron tribes, stuff like that. But the real kicker is the fact that they somehow managed to tick off every native tribe, and then run out of food, then beg passing ships to take them back to the land of crumpets. How do you mess up that bad? Then in 1586, Sir Francis Drake rescues them in June, and they accidentally leave 15 men behind, never to be seen again. How the heck do you accomplish that? Just, I'm sure Bob, Bibb, and the other ones will be fine with the hula hoppers for the rest of their lives. Finally, in May 1587, a new group of 115-ish colonists sail. This time, men, women, and children. This was going to be a legitimate settlement. A man who was a governor named John White, who was also an artist and map maker, his daughter Eleanor Dare, and newly born granddaughter Virginia Dare, who became the first English-born child in America on August 18, 1587, planned to relocate 50 miles north to the Chesapeake, hoping for better land, but the pilot Simon Fernandez forces them to stay on Roanoke. They repair the old cottages, befriend the Croatoan tribe on the Hatterrals Island, but relations with most mainland tribes are already ruined. On August 27, 1587, just 9 days after Virginia was born, John White sails back to England to bring back more supplies. He thinks he'll be gone for just a few months, but as the Spanish Armada attacks England in 1588, having every ship commandeered for battle, that trip turned into 3 years. On August 18, 1590, John White finally makes it back to Roanoke. He made it back hoping to see his granddaughter on her 3rd birthday, but there wasn't anyone around. The entire settlement of 115-ish colonists were gone. The houses were carefully dismantled. A palisade fort had been built, signifying that they felt threatened. All heavy iron objects, armor, and all of John White's personal belongings had been buried in trenches. And the only clues left behind. Croatoan, carved into a palisade post, no distress symbol anywhere. And on a nearby tree, Crow, with the rest deliberately scratched out, like someone didn't want anyone to read it. A few hours later, a storm comes, forcing the ships to leave, never even checking Croatoan Island, 50 miles south. John White sails back to England and dies, never knowing what happened. In 1603, English ships finally visit Croatoan Island. The friendly tribe says the colonists lived with them for a while, but then moved inland, and were never heard from again. Alright, so that's what we got. The English hilariously failed to place their colony in America, or did they? That is the question we are going to answer today, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, I got theories that we're gonna roast and toast, so let's get a move on. Yeehaw!
Numero uno. They lived on and completely ghosted the English.
So basically 400 plus years later, evidence from oral history from Hatterals and Lumbee tribes were saying our ancestors had blue eyes and read from a book. And in 1937 through 1941, 48 of the famous Dare stones were found in North Carolina and Georgia, though most proven fake, but the first one, Eleanor Dare's message, is still debated by like 3 guys on Reddit. In a 2010's DNA project, dozens of families in North Carolina still carry rare European haplogroups that match 1580s London.
Science!
And some 16th century English stuff was found. A ring, sword hilt, and writing slate were found 50 to 100 miles inland, and now most historians believe the majority assimilated and intermarried.
Dironi.
Massacre by Powhatan or Sekaton.
Jamestown colonists in 1607 hear multiple reports that the Roanoke survivors were killed by Powhatan on the mainland, and apparently that Powhatan himself allegedly tells John Smith he personally wiped them out. Cool story, Chief. Except there was no mass grave, and the houses were dismantled like they packed for a move, not murdered mid-dinner.
Theory 3. It was the Spanish.
Spanish records from 1600 mention attacking an English settlement on the Carolina coast and killing everyone. But you see, the problem lies in the fact that Spanish maps are widely inaccurate and oftentimes called drunk. And there was no physical evidence.
We need like a secret underground temple filled with the bodies and remains and stuff in order for this to be proven. Ironsa!
Starvation, or DIY Titanic. Basically, they tried to sail home in makeshift boats and failed spectacularly and all drowned, or simply starved waiting for White. But then why dismantle the houses so neatly? Oh well, he ditched us. May as well make the place look pretty before we
Starve!
I don't think it was this one.
The creepy ones for the comments.
Cannibalism due to starvation. Ew, gross, why? Early zombie apocalypse. Yes, people actually think this one. Wouldn't there be blood weapons or something? The forts? Wouldn't the houses still be up? What? Time slip, Bermuda Triangle, alien abduction. Honestly, I don't think there's a mystery alive that can't be explained by aliens. Basically, ancient aliens needed 115-ish British test subjects for their new hybrid program, when they could have just gone to London on a Friday night. Okay, so what's the conclusion? In 2025, the official position of the National Park Service and most archaeologists is that the colonists left voluntarily, joined the Croatoan or other friendly tribes, and their descendants are still living in North Carolina today. But we will never find a smoking gun, grave, or shipwreck. Maybe. The word Croatoan, written with no distress symbol. Someone took the time to bury John White's books and armor, and whatever was carved under Crow on that second tree, someone wanted it erased forever. So maybe, just maybe, they didn't want to be found. Or maybe they canceled their subscription to England and blocked the number. Okay, that's it. Comment the word you think was scratched out under Crow. I think it was bar. So basically we bullied the English for like 8 minutes. I can do that because I have some English blood in me. Maybe I was from the settlement. Who knows? Sorry if I absolutely butchered the pronunciation of some of these words and names. Anyway, thanks for watching. Happy New Year. Bye!